Did you just touch me?" The slap sounded like a loud clap in the middle of the road. Everyone stood in shock. The old widow's head snapped to the side. The bundle of firewood she was balancing slid off and crashed to the ground, sticks rolling, dust rising, people stepping back. The widow's knees shook, but she did not fall. She held her cheek with one hand and used the other to steady her weak wrapper. Her eyes, tired, brown and quiet, lifted slowly. In front of her stood Mona Lisa, tall and dressed like she was going to a red carpet event. Her wig was perfect. Her nails were long and shiny. Her perfume filled the air. Mona Lisa's face was twisted with anger, like the widow was something dirty that had dared to come near her. "You old woman," Mona Lisa shouted, "do you know who I am?" People at the roadside in Owerri, Imo State, gasped. The old widow did not shout back. She only stared, breathing slowly as if she was trying not to cry. Mona Lisa pointed at the firewood on the ground like it was a crime. "Look at what you almost did. You nearly stained my dress. You nearly touched my bag." Then she raised her hand again. The crowd murmured louder. A voice from inside a black SUV called out, calm but firm, "Mona Lisa." She paused. Behind the tinted glass sat Derek, the billionaire fiancé everyone in town whispered about. His face was not fully visible, but his voice carried weight. Mona Lisa forced a sweet smile, like she had been waiting for someone to support her. "Derek, you saw it. This woman almost brushed me with those dirty sticks." The widow swallowed hard. She bent slightly, trying to pick up the firewood, even with her shaking hands. Mona Lisa stepped forward again, and that was when the widow's headscarf shifted, just a little. For a second, something shiny flashed on her wrist, like a bracelet, old but special. Derek's voice went quiet. "Wait," he said. Mona Lisa did not hear the warning in his tone. She was already angry again, already loud again. She grabbed the widow's wrapper at the shoulder and shoved her back. The widow stumbled, her feet scraped the ground, her wrapper loosened, and something fell from inside her wrapper and landed on the road with a soft metallic sound. A ring. Not a cheap ring. A ring that looked like it had a story. Derek opened the car door. His shoe touched the ground, and the whole crowd held their breath. Because the way Derek stared at that ring was not normal. It was like he had seen a ghost. 2 days earlier, and nobody in Owerri thought something like this could happen. Derek was the kind of man people only saw on billboards and news pages. He was young, polished, and always calm. His family company had buildings in Lagos, Abuja, and even outside Africa. In Imo State, people respected his name like it was a title. But Derek was not in Owerri for business alone. He was in Owerri because of Mona Lisa, his fiancée. Mona Lisa was famous in her own way too. She was beautiful, loud, and confident. She was the kind of woman who walked into a room and acted like she owned the air. When people heard Derek was going to marry her, some people said, "Ah, lucky girl." Others said, "This one. Is she calm enough?" Derek did not talk much about it. He only smiled when asked and said, "She is the one I chose." But Derek's mother, Sophia, did not smile. Oh, Sophia was not just any mother. She was the kind of woman who could speak softly and still make a whole room obey. People said she was strict but fair, kind but not weak. And there was one thing Sophia always believed: love is not enough. Character is the real marriage. Sophia had met Mona Lisa only twice. The first time, Mona Lisa greeted her with a big smile, but the smile looked practiced, like a mask. The second time, Mona Lisa kept checking her phone while Sophia was talking. When Sophia asked a simple question, "My dear, what kind of home do you want to build with my son?" Mona Lisa laughed and said, "A very big home, of course." Sophia watched her. She did not argue. She just nodded slowly. That night, Sophia called Derek. "My son," she said quietly, "I want to be sure." Derek sighed. "Mum, you don't like her." "It is not about liking," Sophia replied. "It is about truth." Derek's voice tightened. "Mona Lisa is good. She loves me." Sophia did not shout. "Then let me test what kind of love it is." Derek was silent. Sophia continued, "If she loves you, she will respect what you respect. She will respect people, even the ones who cannot help her." Derek rubbed his forehead. "Mum, please, no drama." Sophia's voice stayed soft. No drama. Just a simple test. Derek refused at first, but Sophia did not push too hard. She only said, "Let me do this one thing. After that, I will never mention it again." Derek finally agreed, tired and busy. "Fine," he said, "but don't embarrass yourself." Sophia replied, "I am not the one who will be embarrassed." Sophia planned it well. She did not go with security. And she did not go with assistance. She dressed down in an old wrapper and faded blouse. She tied a weak headscarf. She wore simple slippers. She even rubbed a little ash on her hands to look older and rougher. She carried firewood like a poor widow who lived on the edge of town. Her plan was simple. She would appear near where Mona Lisa would pass. She would see how Mona Lisa would react to someone small. Because Sophia knew something many people forget. When a person thinks nobody important is watching, that is when you see who they truly are. Sophia chose a busy place in Owerri, where people were always moving, always watching, always talking. She stood near the roadside, waiting under the hot sun, blending in like she belonged there. And then she saw it. A black SUV, clean, shiny, expensive. It moved slowly, like the road was not made for ordinary people. Sophia's heart beat once, steady. Derek is inside, she thought. And then she saw Mona Lisa step out like a queen who had never heard the word sorry. Mona Lisa adjusted her sunglasses. She looked around with disgust, like the whole street was insulting her. Sophia shifted slightly, holding the firewood tighter. She moved carefully, pretending she was just trying to cross. But at the same time, she made sure she got close enough for Mona Lisa to notice her. Very close. Close enough for Mona Lisa to feel threatened. Sophia's eyes stayed low. Then it happened. Mona Lisa turned sharply, her face tightened, and her hand flew. The slap landed, and Sophia understood everything in one painful second. Not because her cheek hurt, but because her heart hurt. Because she now knew something about the woman her son wanted to marry, something heavy, something dangerous. Back in the present moment, on that same roadside, the crowd kept whispering, "Why did she slap her? That old woman is just trying to cross the road." This is pride and bullying. Mona Lisa's chest rose and fell fast. She looked around, noticing that people were not supporting her. She hated it. She turned back to the widow and hissed, "Pick your nonsense and leave." The widow bent again, still quiet, but her fingers touched the ring that had fallen. And before she could pick it up, Derek stepped out of the SUV fully. People shifted backward to give him space. Even Mona Lisa's voice reduced. Derek stared at the ring on the road. Then he stared at the widow's wrist again. That bracelet, that small, familiar shine. Derek's face changed, confusion mixing with fear. His lips parted. "Mum," he whispered. Mona Lisa frowned. "Derek, what are you saying?" The widow lifted her head slowly. Her eyes met Derek's, and she did not answer him with words. She answered him with a look that said, "Yes." Derek's breath caught. Mona Lisa's smile faded. The crowd leaned in, and the widow, still holding her cheek from the slap, reached for the knot of her headscarf. As her fingers touched it, Mona Lisa took one step back, her eyes widening. "Wait," Mona Lisa said, her voice suddenly small. The widow began to loosen the scarf, and Derek's voice came out sharp, louder than before. "Mona Lisa, what did you do?" The scarf slipped lower. The crowd gasped. Mona Lisa's knees went weak. Because the face under that scarf was starting to look like someone she had seen in pictures, in Derek's house, in framed portraits. And the widow was about to reveal everything. The headscarf slipped all the way down. Gasps spread through the crowd like fire. The old widow straightened her back slowly. Her shoulders were no longer bent. Her eyes were no longer weak. The tired look on her face faded, replaced by something firm, something powerful. Derek took 2 steps forward. "Mum." His voice broke. It was Sophia. Not a poor widow, not a roadside woman, but Sophia Derek, his mother. Mona Lisa's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Her legs shook. She looked around, hoping someone would laugh and say it was a joke. But nobody laughed. Nobody spoke. The woman she had slapped, the woman she had insulted, was her fiancé's mother. Sophia touched her own cheek gently, the red mark still fresh. Her voice was calm, but it carried weight. "So," she said slowly, "this is how you treat people you think are nothing." Mona Lisa dropped her bag. Ma, she stammered. I didn't know, I swear. If I knew—" Sophia raised her hand slightly. "Stop." That single word silenced Mona Lisa faster than shouting ever could. Derek stood frozen between the two women. His chest felt tight. He had agreed to this test, but he never imagined it would end like this. Never imagined a slap. Never imagined this level of shame. Sophia looked at him briefly. Her eyes softened for just a second. "Derek," she said, "is this the woman you said loves you?" Mona Lisa rushed forward and dropped to her knees. "I'm sorry," she cried. "Please forgive me. I didn't mean it like that. She came too close." I was protecting myself," the crowd murmured. "Protecting herself from firewood?" "See pride." Sophia looked down at Mona Lisa. "You were not protecting yourself," she said quietly. "You were protecting your pride." Mona Lisa reached out to touch Sophia's feet. Sophia stepped back. "Do not touch me now," she said. "You had your chance when you thought I was poor." That sentence hit harder than the slap. Mona Lisa turned to Derek, tears streaming down her face. "Derek, please talk to her. You know me. You know I'm not like this." Derek opened his mouth, then closed it. For the first time since he met Mona Lisa, he did not know what to say, because deep inside him, a memory surfaced. A waiter she once shouted at, a house help she once fired without explanation, a driver she once called useless in traffic. When he had ignored those moments, he had called them small issues. Now they were standing in front of him, loud and clear. Sophia turned to the crowd. "I apologize to all of you," she said. "I came here in disguise to learn the truth. You did nothing wrong." People nodded, some shook their heads in pity for Mona Lisa. Sophia bent down slowly and picked up the fallen firewood. She handed it to a young boy nearby. "Take this home," she told him gently. Her kindness confused Mona Lisa even more. Sophia then faced Mona Lisa again. "My dear," she said, "character does not change because of money. It only hides." Mona Lisa sobbed louder. "Please give me another chance." Sophia did not answer immediately. Instead, she turned and began to walk away. Derek followed her quickly. "Mum, please," he whispered. "Let's talk." Sophia stopped walking. "I will talk," she said, "but not here." She turned slightly and looked back at Mona Lisa one last time. "Go home," Sophia said, "and think." Mona Lisa looked up, hope flashing in her eyes. "Does that mean—" Sophia did not finish the sentence. She entered the SUV. Derek hesitated, then followed her inside. The door closed. The engine started. The black SUV drove off, leaving Mona Lisa on her knees in the middle of the road. The crowd slowly dispersed, whispering and shaking their heads. Mona Lisa stood up weakly. Her expensive dress was dusty now. Her pride was broken. Her mind raced with fear. Have I lost everything? She wondered. But what Mona Lisa did not know, what nobody on that road knew, was that Sophia's test was not over yet. And Derek was about to face the hardest choice of his life. The car disappeared down the road. And Mona Lisa screamed his name, just as her phone buzzed with a message that made her blood run cold. Mona Lisa's phone vibrated again in her trembling hand. She wiped her tears quickly and looked at the screen. "Unknown number. If you want to save your engagement, meet me today, alone." Her heart jumped. She looked up and down the road. The crowd was gone now. Only dust, silence, and shame remained. Her knees still felt weak, but fear pushed her to stand straight. "Save my engagement," she whispered. She typed fast. "Mona Lisa, who is this?" The reply came almost immediately. "Unknown number, someone who knows what you don't." Her fingers tightened around the phone. Inside the moving SUV, the silence was heavy. Derek sat stiffly beside his mother. He wanted to speak, but every word felt wrong. His mind replayed the slap again and again. And the sound, the shock, the look on his mother's face. Sophia broke the silence first. "You saw it," she said calmly. Derek swallowed. "Yes, Mum." "You heard it?" "Yes." "And you still want to ask me to forgive her?" Derek opened his mouth, then slowly closed it. Sophia nodded. Good. At least you are finally seeing. Derek rubbed his hands together. But Mum, people make mistakes. Sophia turned to him. A mistake is stepping on someone's foot and apologizing. What she did was choice. Her words were slow but sharp. When she thought I was poor, she slapped me. When she thought I was powerful, she begged. That is not fear, that is truth. Derek leaned back, confused and torn. She says she loves me. Sophia looked straight ahead. Love that has no respect will destroy you. Derek's phone buzzed. He checked it. It was from Jennifer. Jennifer was his cousin, calm, observant, the one who always noticed things others missed. Jennifer, we need to talk, urgently. Derek frowned and typed back. Derek, about what? Her reply was short. Jennifer, about Mona Lisa. Derek's heart sank. Back in Owerri, Mona Lisa stood in front of a quiet cafe, staring at the sign like it might bite her. This was the location the unknown number had sent. She hesitated before entering. Inside, the cafe was almost empty. Soft music played. A woman sat in the far corner, sipping water. The woman looked up. Mona Lisa, she said. Mona Lisa froze. Do I know you? The woman smiled slightly. No, but I know you. She gestured to the chair opposite her. Sit. Mona Lisa sat slowly, her chest tight. Who are you? She asked. The woman leaned forward. My name is Jennifer. Mona Lisa's eyes widened. Derek's cousin, Jennifer nodded. Yes. Mona Lisa's heart pounded. Did Derek send you? No, Jennifer replied calmly. I came on my own. Mona Lisa grabbed her bag tightly. If this is about today, I already said I'm sorry. Jennifer studied her face quietly. Do you know why Aunt Sophia disguised herself? She asked. Mona Lisa shook her head quickly. To test me. I failed. I know. Jennifer sighed. That was not the first test. Mona Lisa frowned. What do you mean? Jennifer reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. She slid it across the table. Watch. Mona Lisa looked at the screen. It was a video. Her own voice filled the cafe. Why do you allow this kind of person near me? Can't you see she looks dirty? Mona Lisa's breath stopped. The video continued. A house help, crying, a driver, standing silently, a waiter, unapologizing again and again. Moment after moment, Mona Lisa's worst moments. Her legs began to shake. Where did you get this? She whispered. Jennifer's eyes were steady. From people you forgot. From people you hurt. Mona Lisa pushed the phone away. That was long ago. Everyone changes. Jennifer leaned closer. Did you? Mona Lisa did not answer. Jennifer continued. Aunt Sophia asked me to watch quietly. To listen, to observe. Mona Lisa's voice cracked. So this marriage was never real. Jennifer shook her head slowly. It was real. Until today. Mona Lisa's tears fell again. Please, she begged, tell Derek I can change. Jennifer stood up. That is not my decision, she said, and it may no longer be his either. Mona Lisa looked up sharply. What do you mean? Jennifer paused, her hand on the chair. Oh, because while you were slapping an old widow today, she said quietly. Derek was remembering things he refused to see. Jennifer turned to leave. Mona Lisa jumped up. Wait, Jennifer stopped but did not turn around. There is one more thing, Jennifer said. Aunt Sophia has not told Derek everything yet. Mona Lisa's heart nearly stopped. What else is there? She whispered. Jennifer looked back at her now, eyes serious. The real reason she needed to be sure. Mona Lisa's voice shook. And what is that? Jennifer replied slowly. Because this marriage is not just about love. It is about inheritance, control, and a secret that can destroy the entire Derek family. Mona Lisa staggered back into her chair. A secret, she whispered. Jennifer walked out of the cafe without another word. Mona Lisa sat frozen. Her phone buzzed again. This time, and it was Derek calling. Her hands shook as she stared at his name on the screen. She did not know whether to answer, because whatever Derek was about to say would decide her future forever. And somewhere else in Owerri, Sophia sat quietly, holding a document in her bag. A document Mona Lisa had never seen, one that could end the engagement without any argument at all. Mona Lisa's phone kept ringing. Derek, Her finger hovered over the screen. Her heart beat so fast it hurt. If she answered, everything could end. If she did not, everything could still end. She answered. "Derek?" Her voice was small. "Where are you?" Derek asked. His tone was calm, but it was not warm. I'm in a wherry," she replied quickly. "Please, can we talk? I can explain everything." There was a short pause. "I know," Derek said. "More Jennifer spoke to you." Mona Lisa closed her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "She showed me things, old things." "I was wrong, Derek. I admit it." Another pause. "Meet me," Derek said, "at the family house, now." Her breath caught. "Your mother—" "She will be there," he replied. "Come." The call ended. Mona Lisa sat still for a long moment, then she stood up, fixed her dress, wiped her face, and walked out of the cafe. The Derek family house in a wherry stood quietly behind tall gates. Clean walls, wide compound, no noise, no welcome. When Mona Lisa entered, the guards did not smile. They only nodded and opened the door. Inside the sitting room, Sophia sat upright on a single chair. Her wrapper was neat now. Her hair was uncovered, well arranged. The slap mark on her cheek was faint, but still there. Derek stood near the window, and Jennifer sat quietly on another chair, watching. Mona Lisa stopped walking. She wanted to kneel again, but something about Sophia's calm face stopped her. Sophia spoke first. "Sit," she said. Mona Lisa sat. The silence was heavy. Sophia reached into her bag and brought out a brown envelope. She placed it on the table. "This," she said, tapping it gently, "is why today mattered." Derek turned sharply. "Mum, what is that?" Sophia looked at him. "You told me Mona Lisa loved you for who you are." Derek nodded slowly. "Yes." Sophia turned to Mona Lisa. "Do you know how much my son is worth?" Mona Lisa hesitated. I know he is wealthy." Sophia nodded. "How wealthy?" Mona Lisa swallowed. "Very." Sophia opened the envelope and pulled out a document halfway. Just enough for the bold heading to show. Family Trust Agreement. Mona Lisa's eyes widened. Sophia slid the document back in. "This marriage," Sophia said, "would give your husband control of assets you cannot imagine, but only if his wife passes one condition." Mona Lisa leaned forward. "What condition?" Sophia's eyes locked on hers. "Character." Derek's chest tightened. "Mum, why didn't you tell me this before?" Sophia replied calmly, "Because money changes how people behave. I needed to be sure." Mona Lisa shook her head quickly. "I did not know about any trust, I swear." Sophia studied her. "Would it have changed how you treated me today if you knew?" Mona Lisa opened her mouth. No answer came out. Sophia turned to Derek. "You see?" Derek ran a hand through his hair. His head hurt. His heart hurt. He faced Mona Lisa. "Why didn't you stop? Why didn't you just step aside?" Tears filled Mona Lisa's eyes. "Oh, because I thought she was trying to embarrass me." "I felt watched. I felt challenged." Sophia nodded slowly. "So you attacked?" Mona Lisa broke down crying. "I am not proud of it. But I can change. Please." Sophia stood up. "I believe people can change," she said, "but change does not happen because of fear. It happens because of truth." She picked up the envelope again. "There is one more thing you should know." Mona Lisa looked up sharply. Sophia continued, "Before today, I already delayed the final approval for this marriage." Derek turned to her. "Mum?" Sophia looked at him. "I wanted one last confirmation." Mona Lisa's heart pounded. "So, what happens now?" Sophia did not answer immediately. She walked slowly to the door and called out, "Bring him in." The door opened. A man stepped inside. Mona Lisa froze. She recognized him instantly. And he was the same driver she had shouted at months ago in Lagos. The one she accused wrongly. The one she ordered to be dismissed. He stood calmly, eyes lowered. Sophia turned to Mona Lisa. "Do you remember him?" Mona Lisa's lips trembled. "Yes," she whispered. Sophia looked at Derek. "This man works for our family now." Derek stared in shock. "Mum, why is he here?" Sophia's voice was steady. "Because he has something to say. Something he never said that day." The man lifted his head slowly and looked straight at Mona Lisa. Her heart dropped, because she suddenly realized this meeting was not over, and the worst part had not even started yet. The man cleared his throat. The room was so quiet that even his breathing sounded loud. "My name is Samuel," he said calmly. "I was a driver in Lagos." Mona Lisa could not look at him, and her fingers dug into the edge of the chair. Samuel continued, his voice steady. "The day Madam shouted at me, I was not late. I was sent on an errand by her friend. When I returned, she accused me in front of everyone." Derek felt a sharp pain in his chest. Samuel looked at him now. "Sir, I tried to explain. She did not listen. She called me useless. She said people like me should not talk back." Mona Lisa's shoulders shook. "She ordered me to be dismissed," Samuel went on. "I lost my job that day." Sophia nodded slowly. "And do you know what she did next?" she asked Derek. Derek shook his head. "She called her friends," Sophia said, "and laughed about it that night." Mona Lisa gasped. "That's not true." Sophia raised her hand. "I heard it myself," Sophia said, "because that night, you did not know I was listening." Derek closed his eyes. The room felt smaller. Samuel continued, 2 weeks later, I met Madame Sophia. She asked me only one question. "Did you steal?" I said no. She believed me. Samuel bowed slightly toward Sophia. She helped me get back on my feet. Sophia turned to Mona Lisa. "Today," she said, "you slapped me because you thought I was nobody. That driver was treated worse because he could not fight back." Mona Lisa stood up suddenly. "I was angry," she cried. "People provoke me. Everyone makes mistakes." Sophia looked at her quietly. "No," she said, "everyone gets angry, but not everyone becomes cruel." Derek stood up too. His voice shook. "Mona Lisa, why didn't you ever tell me about these things?" Mona Lisa rushed to him. "Because I was ashamed. I didn't want you to see me as bad." Derek stepped back. "That is the problem," he said softly. "You were not ashamed when you did them. You were ashamed only when you were caught." Those words cut deep. Mona Lisa froze. Sophia picked up the brown envelope again. "This document," she said, "gives me the final say in my son's marriage." Derek turned to her. "Mum?" Sophia met his eyes. "I raised you to value people, not power." She turned to Mona Lisa. "You failed the test," Sophia said calmly. Mona Lisa dropped to her knees again. "Please," she begged. "I will go for counseling. I will change. Give me time." Sophia looked at her for a long moment. Then she said something unexpected. "I believe you can change." Hope rushed into Mona Lisa's eyes. "But," Sophia continued, "I will not gamble my son's future on a promise." The hope drained away. Then Sophia handed the envelope to Derek. "This engagement," she said, "is suspended." Mona Lisa screamed, "No!" Derek's eyes filled with tears. "Mona Lisa, I loved you." Mona Lisa grabbed his legs. "Then fight for me." Derek gently removed her hands. "I fought for you in my heart," he said, "but today you fought against yourself." Sophia stood up. "Take her home," she instructed the guards. "Treat her with respect." Mona Lisa was led out, crying and shaking. The door closed. Silence returned. Derek sank into a chair. "I failed," he whispered. Sophia walked to him and placed her hand on his shoulder. "No," she said, "you learned." Jennifer finally spoke. "Many people never do." Sophia picked up her bag. "Tomorrow," she said, "people will talk. Let them." She paused at the door. "Because the woman who slapped a poor widow today," she added quietly, "may still become a better person someday. But she is not ready to become a wife today." Sophia walked out. Derek remained seated, staring at the floor. Outside, Mona Lisa sat alone in a car, staring at her reflection in the dark window. For the first time in her life, money could not save her. Status could not protect her. Beauty could not speak for her. Only her character stood before her, and it had spoken too loudly. The question now was not whether Derek would take her back. The real question was, would Mona Lisa finally change, or blame everyone else again? You will get to know more in the next episode. Thank you for watching, besties. What's your view about this story? Which city are you watching from? Kindly let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories.